The Omicron variant has COVID case counts skyrocketing. Good evening. I'm Matt Mulcahy. You're watching NBC3 News at 5. The variant's already the dominant strain in the U.S. just weeks after its arrival in our country. Statewide, it's been contributing to daily COVID case totals well over 30, even 40,000. And local officials say it played a big role in the record high 600 cases Onondaga County reported on Christmas Day. Our Samantha Croston spoke with an expert about what makes this new COVID strain so much more contagious than the others. She joins us live in the studio tonight. Samantha.
Well, the health expert I spoke with says the data shows that the Omicron variant is the most easily transmissible yet. The proof is the highest daily cases nearly 2 years into the pandemic with a vaccine that's widely available. What does transmissibility even mean when talking about COVID-19? Cornell immunology professor Cynthia Leifer explains.
We're really talking about if one person is infected and they breathe around in a group of people, how many of those people would get infected? So it's sort of secondary cases from the primary case.
Leifer says the transmissibility has increased with each variant. With Alpha, transmissibility was low. With Delta, it increased.
Now, when we're talking about Omicron, it's really pretty much everybody in the room with that infected person is probably going to test positive at some point.
The current vaccines were built to fight the Alpha, or original strain of the coronavirus. Leifer says the Omicron variant mutated in a way that makes it better at locking into our cells and can infect people, even the vaccinated, more easily. Another change with Omicron, symptoms and positive tests show up sooner. Leifer says this is a good thing.
So the shorter that time, from the time you get exposed to the time that you're actually showing symptoms or testing positive, the better, because the less time you're walking around like nothing's wrong, shedding and infecting other people.
She also says vaccinated people have the edge on how quickly our bodies can control the infection.
If you have the vaccine, we're not seeing as many people get symptomatic. We're not seeing as many people get severely ill, and we're not seeing as many people in the hospital.
Leifer says the best precautions you can take to protect yourself are masking indoors and staying away from others who test positive or feel sick. And as another holiday approaches, she also recommends having everyone take a test before your New Year's Eve gathering.
While Syracuse is not planning on holding drive-through giveaways, other communities across Onondaga County believe that is the best way to hand out at-home tests and masks. They are some of the most sought-after products out there right now. And soon, thousands of these at-home COVID tests will be in the hands of Onondaga County residents eager to find out if they have the virus. Fayetteville Mayor Mark Olson says the giveaway there will start at 9 Wednesday morning behind the firehouse. Local leaders are making efforts to limit in-person contact.
It was the safety of the residents. It was the safety of the people handing those out.
In Clay, residents can pick up a mask and testing kit at the Senior Center on Route 31 starting at 11 tomorrow morning. The town supervisor says this giveaway is for Clay residents only, and he's asking people to respect that. Onondaga County distributing a limited amount of tests and masks county-wide. The mayor of Fayetteville says the way the demand is for COVID tests right now, he wouldn't be surprised if they're all given away before noon on Wednesday.
We're pretty confident that tomorrow is going to be a busy day, and we've got it staffed up with volunteers as well as career staff from the fire department as well as municipal officials, and we think we're going to be able to get the people through quickly and get this done.
While Clay and Fayetteville are distributing tests to the general public tomorrow, other surrounding towns will not be, as they already distributed the kits allotted to them. Lafayette and Pompey already gave out kits to places like the fire department and town clerk's office. Even though tests will not be given out to the public tomorrow, both towns will be handing out free N95 masks. Town leaders in both Lafayette and Pompey say those who are at high risk and are having trouble finding a test or cannot afford one can call the clerk's office for a free COVID testing kit. Health officials are reminding everyone that these at-home tests do come with a significant responsibility, and that is to report your test result to the county health department. You could do so by going to the county's website.
Or someone you know is in isolation because of a positive COVID-19 test, you are probably having questions about the new guidance that came out from the CDC and New York State. It would cut the mandatory isolation period from 10 days to 5 days. CBS 5's Tony Black is with the Live Eye in Syracuse with the latest. Tony?
Amanda, looking at the skyline of Syracuse here, you can see businesses and you can see homes. And with the CDC's new recommendations to shorten the isolation and quarantine periods, what does that mean about how long you're required to stay at home and when you can go back to work if you are positive or in quarantine?
It will encourage people to return to work sooner if they can do their jobs wearing the masks.
The CDC is recommending the isolation and quarantine periods for COVID-19 be shortened by half. If someone who tested positive doesn't have symptoms, the agency says they can go back to work after 5 days and then continue to wear a mask. If someone unvaccinated is exposed, the CDC now says 5 days in quarantine is enough. If vaccinated, they don't need to quarantine. So what does this mean for going back to work?
They can certainly allow their employees to come back in after the 5 days.
Eugene Welsh is a litigation partner at Tully Rinkney. He says employers can adopt the new guidance, but also don't have to. They can require a test to come back.
The employers have concerns. They want employees to come back to work, but they also don't want their workforce to get sick.
He says if the CDC says it's safe, employers should feel safe too. If a company doesn't adopt the shorter periods, he says that is something a worker has to accept.
You got a job, you want to keep that job, so you got to follow your employer's rules.
Onondaga County is still reviewing the new guidance before they make a decision on the change. County Executive Ryan McMahon, however, says he does see value in it.
We need to continue to respond to the public health threat in front of us, but that this is going to go to an endemic at some point.
There's some wording in the guidance they want clarification on. McMahon says this is an acknowledgement that COVID isn't going away.
We need to be able to factor in this risk in our daily lives and continue to move forward as a community and a society.
The attorney I spoke with says that the employer should let the workers know if they are going to adopt the new guidance, especially if they are in quarantine or isolation. He says this gives more flexibility to the company as people can come back to work sooner.